वर्ल्ड ब्रेस्ट फीडिंग वीक का उपयोग लोगों को उनके शरीर को बेहतर विकास के लिए और बेबीज को केवल माँ का दूध देने के लिए अ, बना है, और उसको उसको उसकी जो गहराई है, उसका जो इम्पोर्टेंस है, उसकी जो वो कितना महत्वपूर्ण है एक माँ का दूध एक बच्चे के लिए, इसके लिए मनाया जाता है। बच्चों को क्वालिटेटिव और बेहतर दूध पिलाने से ही उनके शरीर का विकास होता है और वो कई तरह की बीमारियों से बच सकते हैं। फ्यूचर में अपने गोल्स को प्राप्त कर सकते हैं और कई तरह की एक्टिविटीज कर सकते हैं। बच्चे अधिक शार्प, इंटेलिजेंट और स्ट्रांग भी हो सकते हैं। इसलिए प्रत्येक माँ को अपने बच्चे को माँ का दूध देना चाहिए, और माँओं को इन ब्रेस्ट फीडिंग वीक में उन्हें कैसे हम और इंस्पायर करें और उन्हें एनकरेज करें ताकि वो अपने बच्चों को ब्रेस्ट फीडिंग करा सकें। इस इनिशिएटिव को न्यू बॉर्न चाइल्ड के माता पिता की कोई अवेयरनेस और साथ ही साथ उनके नॉलेज के लिए है, जो ग्रास रूट लेवल से उन्हें नॉलेज हो सके कि ब्रेस्ट फीडिंग क्यों इतना इम्पोर्टेंट है। ये जानना बहुत ज़रूरी है कि माताएं अपने बच्चों को कम से कम 6 महीने से लेकर के 2 साल तक पोषण के लिए अपने दूध के साथ साथ सेमी सॉलिड फूड भी दें। यानी कि अगर 6 महीने के बाद अगर बच्चे को आप सेमी सॉलिड फूड पे स्विच कर रहे हैं, फिर भी करीब 2 साल तक आप अपना दूध उन्हें जरूर पिलाएं। ब्रेस्ट फीडिंग मदर्स को ब्रेस्ट कैंसर और ओवेरियन कैंसर से बचाने में भी काफ़ी मदद करता है। जो मदर्स ब्रेस्ट फीड कर रही होती है उन्हें इस तरह के कैंसर्स का खतरा काफ़ी हद तक कम होता है। शिशु के ये जो शुरुआती 6 महीने हैं, वो उसके इम्यून सिस्टम के लिए और साथ ही साथ ओवरऑल हेल्थ के लिए बहुत ही ज़्यादा क्रुशियल होते हैं। माँ का दूध ही उनके लिए एकमात्र एसेंशियल फूड है जो जल्दी से जल्दी अपने इम्यूनिटी सिस्टम में वो काफ़ी अच्छी तरह से उनके शरीर में एसिमिलेट होता है और उनके इम्यूनिटी को बढ़ाने में मदद भी करता है। हमारा जो फूड प्रोडक्शन सिस्टम्स है, जो कंजम्पशन पैटर्न्स है, क्लाइमेट चेंज है या जो एनवायरमेंटल डिग्रेडेशन है, इनके लिए बहुत सारे कारण, बहुत सारे फैक्टर्स रिस्पॉन्सिबल होते हैं। कोविड महामारी ने हमें ये भी सिखाया है कि इमीडिएट कोऑर्डिनेटेड जो सोसाइटल रिस्पॉन्स है वो कैसे ज़रूरी है। डब्ल्यूएचओ की जो इस साल की वर्ल्ड ब्रेस्ट फीडिंग वीक का जो थीम है वो ये है कि कैसे आप अपने माओ को ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा ब्रेस्ट फीडिंग के लिए एनकरेज करें, और साथ ही साथ ब्रेस्ट फीडिंग अ शेयर्ड रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, यानी सिर्फ मदर ही नहीं, उस पूरे परिवार के जो बाकी लोग हैं वो भी अपने बच्चों को माँ का दूध पिलाने के लिए माँ को किसी भी तरह के प्रॉब्लम या चैलेंज जो उन्हें आ रहे हैं उनके लिए वो अपने एक्सपर्ट से बात करके, डॉक्टर से बात करके उन्हें वो सॉल्व कर सके। हेलो, मेरा नाम है स्मिता कुमार और आप देख रहे हैं मेडी सर्कल। मेडी सर्कल में हम वर्ल्ड ब्रेस्ट फीडिंग डे वीक के ये जो हमारा जो वीक जा रहा है उस पर हम काफ़ी एक्सपर्ट्स डॉक्टर से बातें कर रहे हैं, पीडियाट्रिशियन से, गायनेकोलॉजिस्ट से, और उनसे ये जानने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि ब्रेस्ट फीडिंग कितना इम्पोर्टेंट है, उसमें आने वाले चैलेंजेस क्या हैं और मदर्स ये चैलेंजेस को कैसे सॉल्व कर सकती हैं। इस पहल में आज हम बात करने वाले हैं डॉक्टर उमाकांत अडिगा से। डॉक्टर उमाकांत अडिगा बैंगलोर में एक पीडियाट्रिशियन है और उन्हें इस क्षेत्र में करीब 21 वर्षों का अनुभव है। डॉक्टर उमाकांत बैंगलोर में सागर हॉस्पिटल्स, एचएसआर लेआउट बैंगलोर में, और साथ ही साथ ग्रीन व्यू मेडिकल सेंटर एचएसआर लेआउट में भी वो कार्यरत है और बैंगलोर में प्रैक्टिस कर रहे होते हैं। वह इंडियन अकेडमी ऑफ पीडियाट्रिक्स यानी आईएपी के मेंबर है। डॉक्टर द्वारा प्रदान की जाने वाले कुछ सर्विसेज जैसे ग्रोथ और डेवलपमेंट, इवैल्यूएशन, मैनेजमेंट और वैक्सीनेशन, इम्यूनाइजेशन में भी वो काफ़ी सक्रिय है। डॉक्टर उमाकांत, वेलकम टू मेडी सर्कल।
Thank you. Smita. Thank you.
डॉक्टर उमाकांत, आपसे पहला हमारा क्वेश्चन ये रहेगा कि बेबीज को कितने समय तक नर्स फेड या ब्रेस्ट फेड करना चाहिए?
As such, there is no upper limit, but we advise the mothers to exclusively breastfeed at least until the age of 6 months. And beyond 6 months, she can continue feeding even up to 2 years or even beyond if she is happy with it. But at least 6 months is exclusive breastfeeding. And we strongly advise to feed for at least 2 years. That would be in addition to the other diets, that would definitely supplement the baby's growth.
और इसमें जब ब्रेस्ट फीडिंग के दौरान वुमेन्स को कई तरह की महिलाओं मदर्स को खासकर कई तरह के प्रॉब्लम्स भी फेस करने होते हैं पड़ते हैं, जिसमें एक ब्रेस्ट एंगॉर्जमेंट है। तो ब्रेस्ट एंगॉर्जमेंट क्या होता है एंड हाउ कैन वुमेन डील विद दिस?
If the things are done properly, if she has got a good visits with the gynecologist initially, the gynecologist will examine her breast and anticipates what all problems can happen. Sometimes there can be problem the baby may face later on when the breastfeeding is being established, like problems in the nipple, engorged nipple, sorry, uh, depressed nipple or retracted nipple. Those things can be corrected from the pregnancy time only. And once a baby is born, it's very important to initiate the breastfeeding within half an hour. But in case of cesarean section, we advise to start within 1 hour. And she'll need a good support, of course, as you said. So a pediatrician will be there, sisters will be there, and some lactation consultants sometimes will be there. They will help in establishing the breastfeed, because nowadays most of the mothers are having only one child in this age. So they don't have any prior experience of breastfeeding and all. For them, it's something new, and they always have the fear that it may fail, the lactation may fail, breastfeeding may not get established. So we give them a lot of confidence. We talk to them, because the common complaint they tell is the first day there is no milk, I'm not having any milk. It would be surprising if I tell you the baby's stomach size is just a small marble. So even few drops of milk which comes, like the yellowish watery thing which comes in the first day, which we call as colostrum, is very important for the baby. So we encourage them to feed as early as possible and as regularly in the initial few days. Once the feeding gets established, baby latches on well to the breast, and mother is develops the confidence of this feeding the baby. The other problems are dramatically reduced, including the problem of the breast engorgement. This breast engorgement happens when the cycle of feeding is not well established. Suppose there is not enough support to the mother to initiate the breastfeeding, or she is somehow not confident and somehow attention is not given. So baby may not also take the feed well. And sometimes many people say lactation has failed and they resort to other methods, like they start giving other feeds, formula feeds. Then baby gets used to the other feeds, like formula. It gets used to the bottle feeding, and there is some confusion between the nipple and the mother's nipple. It's called as nipple confusion. Then baby may not feed well at the breast. This leads to engorgement of the breast. Still, if it is in the early stages, like initial few days, we can always intervene. What we'll do is to reduce the pain, we give some medicines like paracetamol just to reduce the pain. And we give some hot fermentation, like if there is any pain elsewhere, we take this hot water bag and like those things. So we give this hot fermentation that will reduce the pain to some extent. And with the help of some trained nurses, we express the milk. This would reduce the initial engorgement. Once the breast becomes little softer and pain reduces, we put the baby to the breast and teach the correct technique of feeding. Once a correct technique of feeding is established, the problem of engorgement shouldn't happen. Only thing, she has to feed the baby regularly, so that once in 2 or 3 hours, she empties the milk and the engorgement doesn't happen. But in the worst case, it's not possible, then we have to look into the other medical measures and all, because the easiest solution is to put the baby to the breast and to initiate the breastfeeding. Because it's not done, it may also stop the flow of the milk in the future days, and it can lead to other complications like formation of some pus in the breast and various other things which we don't want to happen. So it's a simple problem, dealt early, can be corrected easily.
और जब बेबी पैदा होता है तो मदर्स बहुत सारे प्रॉब्लम से गुजर रही होती हैं. दे एक्चुअली एक्सपीरियंस लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स. ब्रेस्ट फीडिंग इज लाइक समटाइम्स अ वेरी न्यू एक्सपीरियंस, स्पेशली टू फर्स्ट टाइम मदर्स. So they are very hesitant also, and here they need lot of support right from the gynec and pediatrician also, and from the husband itself, so that they actually are able to feed their babies. इसमें कई बार they experience पेन इन देयर निपल्स, यानी कई बार उनको ब्रेस्ट फीडिंग के दौरान निपल्स में दर्द होता है, जिसकी वजह से वो कई बार ब्रेस्ट फीड करने के जो प्रोसेस है उससे वो दूर हटती हैं, और कभी-कभी अपने बेबीज को ब्रेस्ट फीड नहीं करती बिकॉज ये पेन काफी ओवर पार करता है. तो किस तरह से जो मदर्स हैं वो इससे डील कर सकती हैं, और किस तरह से इस पेन को कम कर सकती हैं?
Actually, this pain in the nipple shouldn't happen. The baby is feeding in a proper way. We call that in a maybe a semi-technical term, we call it as latching. So if the baby is feeding properly, it will not bite the nipple. So if you see a baby which is feeding well, it will open its mouth completely, and it will hold the nipple and the areola also. So the whole thing is inside the mouth, then it doesn't bite. But if mother doesn't know the technique, or she hasn't been taught that technique, what baby does is it just holds the nipple and starts biting. Even though the baby doesn't have a teeth, it has got the gums, and they're quite strong enough. When the baby repeatedly bites, it can cause fissures, cracks, sometimes bleeding, and the nipple definitely becomes sore. And next time the mother doesn't correct the technique, and again it continues, she develops painful uh, episodes every time she tries to feed. So again, we intervene here, try and teach them the correct technique of feeding, correct technique of latching. And if there is too much of pain, we ask her to rest that side for about few hours, say maybe 3, 4 hours, 5 hours, something like that. And the medicine to be applied is very simple. She can apply just her milk only around the nipple, and that has got healing properties, and that will definitely heal any small wounds or anything which is around the nipple and reduces the pain. But we cannot allow her to rest the particular site for a longer time, because there is a chances that the engorgement can happen and that can lead to problems. So main emphasis is on teaching the proper technique of latching for the baby and for the mother also.
Dr. Umakant, here I like to ask you one more question. Like sometimes mothers ask, like, what time does the breast need to refill again? So because sometimes they feel that it takes a lot of time in refilling, and they are not able to actually breastfeed their child. So is it a very long process of the refilling of breast, or actually depends on what kind of nutritious food the women are having, so mothers are having? So do you suggest any food which is very, very good during for lactating mothers?
Yeah, there are two issues. One is mother's feeling that she is not filling up enough, but the actual fact is we never usually take out the milk and check whether milk is there or how many ml of milk is there on those things. If the mother feeds the baby well, say for about 15-20 minutes, then baby takes rest for about 2 hours or 3 hours and goes to sleep. But usually that much time is sufficient. But some babies, particularly during initial days, as baby is still learning to breastfeed, say in the first 1 week, what they do, they feed for 5 minutes, go to sleep, get up after half an hour, again feed for 5 minutes, go to sleep. So either way, even if it feeds every 5 minutes, once in 5 minutes and once in 30 minutes, or if it feeds, takes a good feed about 20 minutes or 25 minutes and feeds after 3 hours, it will get whatever milk is necessary for it. So she need not actually worry about the filling of the breast. But once the baby becomes more efficient in feeding, say after 15 days or 1 month, then the cycle gets established and baby feeds often once in 2 or 3 hours. And that much time is usually sufficient for filling of the breast. Second thing you mentioned about the nutrition. Yeah, nutrition is an important thing. Mother doesn't eat well, she doesn't drink well, because she has to spend a lot of calories on producing so much milk. So that definitely is important. And there are a lot of myths, traditions, and things for the yeah, the mother who's delivered the baby. They tend to restrict a lot of things, say that that may cause some heat, this may cause some cold, and that's not good for the baby. So
Yes.
tend to restrict a lot of things. But as a pediatrician, we advise, like, see, compared to another woman of your age group, same age and same activity, you're spending about 550 calories extra, which is almost 25 to 30% more than what we did have done. So if you are going to restrict that, this, and so many things based on something, that's not going to help in producing enough milk for your baby. So she can eat the fruits, she can have vegetables, she has to drink plenty of water, because she's going to produce around 1000 ml of milk every day. She can drink milk, she can have rice, khichdi, whatever her the local staple diet is there, she can continue that. In a single word, well balanced, nutritious diet she has to have. Only thing she may have to avoid is the junk food. Occasionally is fine, but junk food is nutrient wise, they are not very good. So that's the only bar we put for the mothers when they ask this question of whether what all things we need to consume, what not to we should consume.
Just a quick question around with this topic. There's a lot of difference between the grandma's advices and the doctor's advices. Like many a times, these breastfeeding mothers are advised not to take too sour or very chilled things like chilled water, और बहुत सारी खट्टी और तीखी चीजें नहीं खानी चाहिए, जो शायद जैसे like curd, like it can affect the baby and it can cause cold and cough and stuff like that. But doctors actually, to some extent, do not agree to this. So how true is this? And is there any myth to kindly bust it?
We advise them to take as much as possible the normal diet, including the spices, because all these are reflected in the what can I say, the contents of the milk. Not exactly, it may not be sour or it may not be very spicy, but those fragrances, they do come in the milk. So the baby which has been already exposed to these types of normal food is going to eat better in the future date. That's what I'll tell the mothers. Okay. And this is not going to cause, just because you take something very spicy, it doesn't mean the milk is going to be very spicy. It may carry some elements which includes those fragrances of those spices, and definitely it makes your baby to eat better. And if there is something from the grandmother side, we ask her to come during the next visit. We'll talk to her. We say in a way that we understand your concerns, but these are the things. So as such, there is no restrictions.
Thank you so much for this, because this again is a really big confusion among I mean, especially for the breastfeeding mothers. A last question to you, Dr. Umakant, like the mothers who are breastfeeding their babies, and especially those who are who have suffered a COVID attack or actually COVID positive, or symptoms of COVID. Even WHO states that they are very, very safe and secure to breastfeed their babies, but still there's a lot of misinformation on this. So kindly advise breastfeeding mothers that is it safe to breastfeed their babies if they are even having a symptom or having a COVID attack?
It is definitely very, very safe to continue breastfeeding, even if it is proven as a positive COVID. Only precautions mother has to take is she has to wear the mask and take the proper hand hygiene. She has to wash her hands with soap and water and sterilize her hand before handling the baby. So she can feed the baby, and after feeding the baby, what she can do is she can ask some of the attenders to keep the baby in another room in a separate cradle, and maybe after again 2 or 3 hours she can continue. Why this is because there are a few things. One is, by the time mother comes to know she is positive, she would have already had symptoms and she would have been in touch with the baby for a long time. So there are chances that baby has already got the infection. So what more are you going to do by keeping the baby away? Once you keep the baby away, you're not giving the milk. So you're also denying the baby the precious antibody she's producing in her milk, even for the COVID. So when you give breast milk, you're actually immunizing the baby in a passive way. So that shouldn't stop. So she has to continue, and only precautions, the mask, maybe the double mask or the surgical mask, that's fine. And regular cough etiquettes and all, not to sneeze or cough in front of the baby. There is no need to wash her breast or nipple every time. Only thing, she has to wash her hands, and this should be adequate.
So thank you so much, Dr. Umakant, for coming to MediCircle and sharing your valuable time and insights with us at here for this World Breastfeeding Week. It has been a pleasure talking to you. I think many of the audience would definitely agree that we have busted a lot of myths also, and also found out a lot of answers to our queries, which many mothers may be facing during breastfeeding their child. As we have also witnessed that, and we have found that breastfeeding was really, really very. I mean, it was from so many years it has been practiced, but it was like promoted now on all open fronts, and even women should be encouraged to breastfeed their babies, because it actually protects them against so many allergies, sickness, and obesities. So thank you so much for joining us, and wish you all the best for all your future endeavors.
Thank you, Smita. It was a nice opportunity to talk to the breastfeeding mothers during this breastfeeding week, and I'm thankful for the opportunity you have provided. Thank you again.
Most welcome.